Hello, Ivan. Got your carburetors finished here, and I want to go over a few things before we crank them up. Make sure you've got the correct fuel pump on your car with the priming lever, because you'll need to use that to get fuel up to the carburetors, especially after the car's been sitting for a while. A few things I'm going to go over. We're going to be adjusting the idle mixture screw, which is this one right here, and this only works on the first barrel of this carburetor, of each carburetor, and the second barrel idle mixture screw is closed off completely. It is not used. You don't mess with it, so just leave that alone. And the basic setting on this one is to screw it in until it just touches and then back it out 1.5 turns. And then the same thing with your idle speed right here. You screw it in until it just touches this lever and then screw it in 1.5 turns. That's your basic setting on these carburetors, but I'm going to be doing all the testing for you, so all these settings will be taken care of for you. A very important thing is fuel filtration. You need to have good clean fuel and make sure it's particulate free. That would be especially mean rust inside your engine, inside your gas tank. But if you do have problems with the car idling, it's because this jet right here, the G55, is clogged up, and all you have to do is unscrew it. And I know this is the wrong size screwdriver, but what I use it for is getting down here to make these adjustments. But you'd get a bigger size screwdriver. You just unscrew this like that. And you see this very tiny hole on the end. That's what clogs up with grit. That's why you've got to have very clean fuel. That hole is 0.55 millimeters diameter, and that is very small, and it's easy for it to clog up. And all you got to do is screw it back in and snug it down. And that's it. That's if you ever lose idle, that's where the problem is. Let's see other adjustments. Let's see. I'm going to set up these adjustments right here. This adjusts how much free play there is between the first barrel and this second barrel, and I have it down to where just almost no free play at all. So that means the first barrel is artificially closing the second barrel, which is what you want. But that's what this adjustment is for. So you want to make sure you don't have this adjusted down too tight to where when you screw this screw in, it's artificially opening the first barrel. Also, you want to make sure the carburetors are fully warmed up and before you can adjust them. And we're going to do an actual cold start. And to give you an idea how cold, 43 degrees. So this is one of the toughest conditions for a carbureted car to work in, is cold starting. Let's see, maybe when mounting, make sure you put the chokes towards the center, because you can mount them with the chokes on the wrong side and you'll be very disappointed. And I'm going to put this in the tripod, and then we'll finish up with the rest of this in the tripod. Well, let's see. You're going to want to take your air collector, air log, and stick it on the carburetors, and then install them. Well, you've got the carburetors installed loosely, and then you're going to put this air log in place, and then you're going to snug up the carburetors, and then pull the air log off, tighten up the carburetors, and then recheck to make sure the air log will fit in place, because otherwise there's enough movement in the carburetors that you can bolt them all down, and then the air log will not fit. In terms of installation, 1/4-inch drive wobble sockets are your friend in order to get the tight places underneath here. And you don't need anything stronger than 1/4-inch drive, because you're not building the Eiffel Tower. You're just going to snug up these carburetors, and the 1/4-inch drive will give you enough torque to do that. And when installing the fuel lines, you want to stabilize this fuel fitting and you want to use this fitting here to this is where you're going to do your tightening on this fitting right here. Stabilize this one, because if you don't, it's possible to rip this fitting out of the top of the float bowl cover. For tuning, I'm going to use the synchrometer, and right out of the box, this synchrometer works perfectly on these carburetors. And what we're doing is we want to make sure we have minimal airflow through here, and want to get balanced airflow through the first barrel of each carburetor. And we're going to adjust the idle RPM screw right here to get to balance the airflow, and then we're going to adjust the idle mixture screw to get the best running. But I've already done that, so you'll see how this all works. And let's see, I've got the choke tied together because this is the slave to this choke lever, so you have them tied together. But this is the one thing that you can adjust, is the angle at which these levers coincide with each other, so that the cable goes down and we'll grab both of them, and you can be able to pull up fairly easily. This is not a very good system, as you'll find out, because the cable is very hard to pull, when in fact these are very easy to move. But it's because the levers are trying to go up in an arc. The cable is going up straight up and down, and then you got the pull knob on the dash with 3 feet of cable going to it, so it makes for a very difficult sometimes to pull situation. But you'll notice that as you move the choke, your lever, your throttle right here, throttle linkage is moving. See it moving right there? And that's where you get your fast idle, when you're pulling on the choke. So I'm going to see how these are going to start in the cold, and then we're going to warm them up and tune them. Not bad for 40-degree weather. So this will simulate you driving along with the choke on, and as the car warms up, you gradually push the choke in. There you go. That's pretty darn impressive. Remember, these are the carburetors that we did no machine work on. Somebody else had done machine work on them previously, and I was very worried about the quality of their work, but seems to be doing pretty well. Okay, so now we're going to rev this up and get this thing warmed up. And you see a little drip of fuel right here. Well, that's why they've got a drain on the first barrel, and also a passageway that goes from this barrel over to this one to try to draw that excess fuel off. And that's why you've got a gasket right here to keep that from dripping on the exhaust manifold. It doesn't hurt anything. It just makes it just evaporates immediately because of the high temperature of the exhaust manifold. All right, first thing you want to do is you make sure you disconnect the two carburetors so they are running independently of each other. The throttle undone, and what we're going to do, let me get my arm in the way here. I'm going to start measuring our airflow through the second barrel. And see, we want minimal airflow through here. I'm going to adjust that to where it, make sure that stays at about that level, 1 or so. Now this one here didn't move, so we got good sealing right there. And we're pulling 6 right here, and pulling 5 right there. So we're going to adjust our set screws right here for idle. So we can either screw this one in to increase the idle RPM, or we can decrease this one over here to decrease it and then match the so what I'm going to do is probably I'm going to match the 6 right there by screwing in this one right here. Almost. A little bit more. Yeah, right about 5.5 to 6. Alright, we're very close. And then what we're going to do is I adjust the idle mixture screw right here, where we get the best idle speed. And what will happen is the more if you screw it out, the engine stumbles, and screw it in, the engine stumbles, you get the midpoint. And here start to stumble. Screw it back in. And if you screw it in too far and the engine runs, but then you accelerate, it pops, that means you're in too far and you have to back it out a little bit. Engine's starting to stumble again, almost died, so we're coming back out. We got our best running, and you're just doing this by gearing and checking your RPM if you so choose, and then you want to be able to do that to the other carburetor. And then what you want to do is adjust your throttle rods where when you snap it in place, nothing changes. There we go. Now let's see what happens. I'm going to back this one out a little bit more, see if that helps. There's a little bit of difference that made, give it a little bit more fuel. Now let's screw it in half a turn and see what happens. A little hesitation. Demonstrate it further. There you go. That hesitation, if I back it out a turn. See how much nicer that response is? I'm going to adjust the front carburetor. See if that makes any difference. One and a half a turn. Back out a half a turn. There little bit more. Put that back in. Alright, that seems to be where it's the happiest, right there. Now we'll disconnect our throttle linkage, check our, we have to adjust, that's what I want to do, I want to adjust this right here. Make sure this is held in place. It's supposed to. There we go. Snug this down. Double check. Alright. Put our linkage back on. Take this off and we will check our readings. See how we're doing? Okay, still up a little bit. Adjust it some more. A little bit better. Alright, it's staying where it's supposed to. Now let's check all of our other readings. Alright, that's good. That's good. Running 6, a little bit over 6. A little bit 6. So we can back this one off a smidge. You can see how things adjust. That's the fun of carburetors. Alright. That's 6 right there. 6 right there. Synchronized. And you can see the idle increase when I put that on there, so the throttle linkage is not adjusted properly. And that varies as you adjust your carburetor, so you have to adjust your throttle linkage at the very end. There we go. Now, let's try a hot start. Well, I've been considering, we did not do any machine work on these things, somebody else did, and I'm considering I was a little hesitant about the quality of the work. It actually is turned out to be a pretty good set of carburetors, so thank you for sending them to me, and I think you'll be pleased with their results. Thank you.